The power of time. Time is the most fundamental currency of your life. Every second, minute, and hour you have is not merely a passing moment, but an opportunity to shape your destiny. It is the resource that levels the playing field. Regardless of who you are, time treats everyone equally. It ticks forward without prejudice, offering you choices at every moment. What you decide to do with it is entirely up to you. Now think about this. What if every day was a microcosm of your life? What if, by wasting today, you waste a piece of your future? Small actions, the ones you think are insignificant, have a compounding effect. Cleaning your room, writing that email, reading one page of a book. None of these acts appear monumental in isolation, but over time, they stack up. They build character, create opportunities, and carve out a better future. It is through small, purposeful actions that you create order out of chaos. The decision to delay action, to waste time, invites disorder and regret. And regret is an unforgiving teacher. It whispers to you, reminding you of what you could have done had you only valued time when you had it. But regret is not merely a punishment, it is a guide. It tells you where you faltered and presents an opportunity to correct course. No, to use your time wisely, you must ask yourself what truly matters. This question is deceptively simple, but profoundly difficult to answer. If you don't consciously prioritize your life, someone else will do it for you. You will find your days consumed by trivialities, scrolling endlessly on social media, indulging in distractions, or procrastinating your responsibilities. These are not just time wasters, they are life wasters. Instead, you must focus on creating a life of purpose, a life aligned with your values. Time, when used well, reveals your priorities. It becomes a reflection of what you deem important. If you spend it on meaningful relationships, learning, and contribution, then you are crafting a life of fulfillment. But if you squander it on fleeting pleasures, you are choosing a path of dissatisfaction. Here is the challenge. Take responsibility for your time. Assume control over how you use it. This isn't an easy task. It requires discipline, effort, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about how you've been living. But the reward is profound. By mastering your time, you master yourself. Remember this, the future is built today. Every small action you take or fail to take has a ripple effect. The choices you make now will define the person you become. So seize the power of time. Recognize its value and wield it with intention. Because in the end, time is not just something you spend, it is something you invest in the person you want to be. Time is the most fundamental currency of life, a resource so finite and irreplaceable that its value surpasses all other assets. While many of us recognize the concept of time's importance on a surface level, few truly internalize its profound implications. Time is not just a ticking clock, it is the framework upon which our entire existence rests. Each second is a building block, contributing to the structure of our lives. To waste it is to squander the very foundation of who we are and who we could become. Think of time as an unrelenting flow, a river that moves forward without pause or mercy. You cannot slow it, nor can you rewind it. It is impartial and indifferent, treating everyone equally, regardless of status, wealth, or circumstance. A billionaire cannot buy more time, and a person of humble means cannot accumulate it for later use. In this way, time is the great equalizer, a silent reminder that while we cannot control its passage, we can control what we do with it. The real challenge lies in how we perceive time. Many people act as if they have an infinite supply of it. They procrastinate, delay, and postpone important tasks and decisions, assuming there will always be tomorrow to get things done. But time does not work that way. It is not a bottomless well from which we can draw endlessly. It is a depleting resource, one that diminishes with each passing moment. To truly understand the value of time, one must confront its finite nature. Imagine if your time were like money in a bank account, where every second spent was a withdrawal you could never deposit back. Would you spend it frivolously, or would you allocate it carefully, ensuring that each moment served a meaningful purpose? What makes time even more unique is that its value is not constant. It depends on how it is used. An hour spent learning a new skill, nurturing a relationship, or pursuing a meaningful goal is exponentially more valuable than an hour spent in mindless distraction. The quality of your time, not just the quantity, determines the trajectory of your life. This is why people who understand the true worth of time are deliberate in their choices. They prioritize their actions, ensuring that their efforts align with their long-term goals and values. There is also a psychological dimension to the value of time. When you waste time, you often feel a sense of unease or guilt. This is not accidental. It is your mind's way of signaling that you are squandering a precious resource. Conversely, when you use your time effectively, you experience a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. This emotional feedback serves as a compass, guiding you toward activities and decisions that align with your sense of purpose. But recognizing the value of time is only the first step. The real power lies in transforming this recognition into action. This requires discipline and intentionality. It means resisting the allure of distractions, whether they come in the form of social media, unnecessary obligations, or fleeting pleasures. These distractions may offer temporary gratification, but they rob you of something far more valuable: the opportunity to create a meaningful life. Consider the concept of opportunity cost. Every moment spent on one activity is a moment that cannot be spent on another. This means that every decision you make about how to use your time carries a hidden cost. If you spend an evening binge watching television, you are not just choosing entertainment, you are also choosing to forego other possibilities, such as reading, exercising, or spending quality time with loved ones. When you begin to view time through the lens of opportunity cost, you become more mindful of your choices and their long-term consequences. Time also has a unique relationship with regret. Unlike material possessions, which can often be replaced or recovered, time once lost is gone forever. This is why people often regret wasted time more deeply than they regret lost money or possessions. The pain of realizing that you cannot go back and change how you spent your time can be a powerful motivator to use it more wisely in the future. In this sense, regret is not merely a negative emotion. It is a teacher, one that reminds us of the importance of living with intention. To fully grasp the value of time, it helps to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing time as something that happens to you, see it as something you actively shape. Each day is a canvas, and your actions are the brushstrokes. The masterpiece you create depends on the care and intention with which you use your time. This perspective empowers you to take control of your life, to make conscious choices that reflect your values and aspirations. The value of time lies in its potential. Every moment is an opportunity to grow, to contribute, and to make a difference. It is a gift, one that offers infinite possibilities within the constraints of its finite nature. By understanding and honoring the value of time, you unlock the door to a life of purpose and fulfillment. Taking personal responsibility for how we use our time is one of the most profound and transformative actions we can undertake. At its core, this responsibility is about recognizing that we are the primary architects of our lives. While circumstances, external factors, and the actions of others may influence us, the ultimate control over how we spend our time lies with us. This understanding fosters growth, discipline, and the capacity to lead a purposeful and meaningful life. To take responsibility for your time is to acknowledge that you have a finite amount of it, and it is your duty to decide how to allocate it. Time cannot be paused, rewound, or replenished, and yet it is the one resource that is entirely within your control. By owning this truth, you free yourself from the tendency to blame external forces for your lack of progress or fulfillment. It is easy to point fingers at circumstances, your job, your upbringing, your environment, but the reality is that, regardless of these factors, how you spend your time is a reflection of your priorities and choices. This responsibility is not just about managing your schedule or ticking off items on a to-do list. It goes much deeper. It is about aligning your time with your values and goals. When you take responsibility for your time, you begin to see each moment as an opportunity to move closer to the life you want to create. You stop waiting for the perfect time to start something meaningful because you realize that the perfect time is an illusion. The only time you truly have is the present, and what you do with it determines the course of your life. One of the key benefits of taking responsibility for your time is the development of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. It is what allows you to follow through on your commitments even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Without discipline, even the best intentions falter and time slips away, leaving you with regret. Discipline is not something that comes naturally to most people. It must be cultivated through consistent effort and practice. But once developed, it becomes a powerful tool that enables you to stay focused on what matters most, even in the face of distractions and challenges. The process of taking responsibility for your time also involves confronting uncomfortable truths about how you have been living. It requires honesty and self-awareness. You must be willing to examine how much of your time is spent on activities that do not serve your goals or align with your values. This can be a humbling experience, as it often reveals patterns of procrastination, avoidance, or indulgence in trivial pursuits. However, this self-reflection is essential for growth. By identifying where you have been wasting time, you create the opportunity to make better choices moving forward. When you take ownership of your time, you also begin to understand the importance of saying no. Many people feel obligated to say yes to every request or opportunity that comes their way, fearing that they might disappoint others or miss out on something important. But the truth is that every yes is also a no to something else. If you say yes to every demand on your time, you risk spreading yourself too thin and neglecting the things that truly matter. Taking responsibility for your time means learning to set boundaries and prioritize. It means recognizing that you cannot do everything, but you can focus on the things that are most meaningful and impactful. And another critical aspect of taking responsibility for your time is the recognition that growth requires effort. Growth does not happen by accident. It requires intentional investment of time and energy. Whether it is learning a new skill, building a meaningful relationship, or pursuing a long-term goal, progress demands consistent effort over time. When you take responsibility for your time, you commit to this process of growth, even when it is uncomfortable or difficult. You understand that the rewards of growth, greater knowledge, deeper connections, and a sense of purpose are worth the effort. Taking responsibility for your time also empowers you to navigate challenges with resilience. Life is unpredictable and obstacles are inevitable. When you take ownership of your time, you stop seeing challenges as insurmountable roadblocks and start viewing them as opportunities to learn and adapt. You understand that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. This mindset allows you to remain focused and proactive even in the face of adversity. Taking responsibility for your time is about taking responsibility for your life. It is an acknowledgement that your time is your most valuable resource, and how you use it determines the quality of your life. It is about recognizing that you have the power to shape your future through your actions in the present. This responsibility is not a burden. It is a privilege. It is what gives you the ability to create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. By embracing this responsibility, you unlock your potential and take the first step toward becoming the person you are capable of being. The idea that micro-accessions lead to macro cutouts is both a powerful and often overlooked concept in personal growth. While many people are tempted to believe that significant, life-changing outcomes are the result of monumental one-time efforts, the reality is quite different. Success, achievement, and transformation come not from rare, dramatic moments, but from consistent, small actions repeated over time. These micro-accessions, although seemingly insignificant on their own, have the power to accumulate and compound, leading to remarkable results. To understand this concept, consider the nature of habit formation. Habits are the small, everyday actions that we do without much thought. and they are the foundation of how we live our lives. When you make a conscious decision to adopt a new habit, say reading for 20 minutes each day, it might not feel like much at first. That small act may not immediately change your life, but over time, it has the potential to dramatically increase your knowledge and shape your thinking. The key here is consistency. By taking that small action daily, you create a compound effect that grows exponentially over time. After a year of reading just 20 minutes a day, you will have consumed hundreds of pages, learned new concepts, and opened doors to opportunities you couldn't have foreseen. The principle of micro-accessions also extends beyond personal habits and into the way we approach larger goals. When we embark on a significant life change, such as improving our health, advancing in our careers, or learning a new skill, the journey often feels overwhelming. These goals can seem so big and distant that we become paralyzed by the thought of how much work lies ahead. It's easy to become discouraged, thinking that any effort we make is too small to have an impact. However, this is where the power of micro-accessions comes into play. Rather than attempting to tackle the entire goal all at once, break it down into small, manageable steps that you can consistently work on each day. Over time, these small steps add up to profound progress. Consider, for example, the goal of becoming fit. Instead of trying to commit to a rigorous exercise regimen right away, which might feel too daunting or unrealistic, start with just a few minutes of exercise a day. Initially, this may seem insignificant, but if you stick to it consistently, you will begin to notice subtle improvements. As your body adapts, you will naturally increase the intensity or duration of your workouts. Eventually, the small actions you took in the beginning will lead to major changes in your physical health, energy levels, and overall well-being. Micro-actions also teach the power of incremental progress. In any area of life, progress is rarely linear. You might not see immediate results, and there will certainly be periods where it feels as though you're not making much headway. This is where the importance of persistence and patience comes in. By continuing to take small, focused actions, even when results are not immediately visible, you are still building momentum. It's this momentum that propels you forward, eventually leading to significant breakthroughs. Over time, the effort that once seemed insignificant begins to accumulate into substantial progress. Another powerful element of microsections is their ability to change the way we think and behave. Often, the key to achieving success lies in developing the right mindset. By engaging in small actions that align with your goals, you begin to reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving them. Each small step you take becomes a proof point that you are on the right path, and this boosts your confidence. This positive feedback loop makes it easier to take the next step and the next, creating a cycle of forward movement. In addition, micro-missions are a way to combat procrastination. When faced with large tasks or overwhelming goals, it's common to feel paralyzed, unsure of where to begin or how to tackle the task at hand. The idea of starting small helps to bypass this feeling. By focusing on small, manageable actions, you lower the barriers to entry and make it easier to begin. Once you get started, even in a small way, it becomes easier to continue. The key is to focus on taking action, regardless of its scale, because even the smallest effort moves you closer to your desired outcome. The beauty of micro-accessions lies in their ability to fit into the cracks of everyday life. You don't have to find large blocks of uninterrupted time to make meaningful progress. The small, deliberate actions you take each day can be seamlessly woven into your existing routine. Whether it's writing a few sentences in a journal, making a healthy food choice, or sending a brief but thoughtful message to someone, these small actions are easy to fit into your schedule and don't require a drastic change in lifestyle. Over time, they accumulate and you start to notice the impact they have on your life. The cumulative effect of micro-accessions is not just about external results, but about internal growth. As you commit to taking small actions every day, you are also developing the skills of discipline, consistency, and perseverance. These qualities, cultivated through micro-accessions, are invaluable in all areas of life. The process of showing up consistently, no matter how small the action, builds resilience and strengthens your character. It teaches you that success is not a matter of achieving a single breakthrough, but of making continuous progress, one small step at a time. In essence, the power of micro-sessions lies in their ability to create change that is both sustainable and profound. By committing to small, focused actions over time, you not only achieve your goals, but also build the foundation for a life of continuous growth. Prioritization and purpose are the twin pillars upon which a meaningful life is built. In a world full of distractions and demands, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The constant influx of information, the pressure to conform, and the endless array of choices can overwhelm even the most driven individuals. Yet, in the face of this chaos, the ability to prioritize and align your time with a clear sense of purpose can be the difference between living a life of fulfillment and merely existing. The first step in prioritization is understanding what truly matters to you. This requires deep self-awareness, an honest evaluation of your values, and a willingness to define your own path. Many people go through life allowing external factors, societal expectations, cultural norms, or the influence of others to dictate their priorities. They chase after what others deem important, whether it's financial success, status, or material possessions. However, when you are guided by the desires of others rather than your own inner compass, you risk losing touch with what is genuinely meaningful to you. To begin the process of prioritization, ask yourself what you truly care about. What are the things that resonate deeply within you? What activities, relationships, or goals give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment? This process is not about making a list of superficial desires, but about identifying the core elements that define who you are and what you stand for. These could be your family, your health, your personal growth, or your contribution to others. Your purpose is not something that is imposed upon you. It is something that comes from within. Once you identify your purpose, it becomes the filter through which you can evaluate everything else in your life. The challenge, of course, is that life is full of distractions. There are constant demands on your time, work, social obligations, entertainment, and countless other things that vie for your attention. Without clear prioritization, these distractions can easily take over, leaving little room for what truly matters. The power of prioritization lies in the ability to say no to things that are not aligned with your purpose. This is not always easy, as it can feel uncomfortable to reject opportunities or relationships that seem appealing in the moment. However, when you have a strong sense of what you value most, it becomes easier to make decisions that are in alignment with your purpose. You learn to protect your time, as it is your most valuable resource. Effective prioritization also involves recognizing the difference between urgent and important. Many people confuse the two, responding to whatever demands their attention in the moment, regardless of whether it truly contributes to their long-term goals. Urgent tasks, such as responding to emails or attending meetings, often feel pressing, but they are not always the most important things in our life. On the other hand, important tasks, such as investing in personal development, nurturing meaningful relationships, or working on long-term goals, often do not come with a sense of urgency, which is why they can be neglected. Learning to distinguish between the two is crucial in developing the ability to prioritize effectively. When you focus on what is important rather than what is urgent, you are more likely to make progress toward your long-term aspirations. Purpose also serves as a guiding light in moments of uncertainty or difficulty. Life is not always smooth sailing, and there will undoubtedly be times when you face obstacles, setbacks, or periods of doubt. During these moments, your sense of purpose can provide clarity and direction. When you know what you are working toward and why it matters, you are more likely to push through challenges and stay focused on your goals. Purpose gives you the resilience to persevere even when the road ahead is difficult or unclear. It reminds you that your actions are not random or insignificant, but part of a larger, meaningful narrative. Aligning your time with purpose also means making choices that reflect your values and long-term vision rather than short-term gratification. In a world where instant gratification is easily accessible, it can be tempting to indulge in fleeting pleasures that provide immediate satisfaction, but contribute little to your overall well-being. Whether it's spending excessive time on social media, binge watching television, or giving into unhealthy habits, these distractions divert your attention from what truly matters. When you prioritize your time based on purpose, you begin to make choices that support your growth, health, and fulfillment. You recognize that the sacrifices you make today, whether it's putting in the hard work, delaying gratification, or forgoing short-term pleasures, will pay off in the long run. Prioritization and purpose also require an understanding that time is finite. Each day is an opportunity, but it is also a limited resource. You cannot afford to waste time on things that do not serve your ultimate goals. By making conscious decisions about where to direct your energy, you maximize the impact of your time. This means being deliberate in the way you spend your days, whether it's dedicating time to family, pursuing a passion, or contributing to your community. Your time becomes an investment in the things that matter most to you. In a world that often encourages people to be everything to everyone, prioritization allows you to be true to yourself. It helps you define who you are and what you stand for, and it gives you the courage to pursue what matters most to you, even when it might not be popular or conventional. When you are guided by purpose, you are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or by external pressures. You can be more inclusive and inclusive. You stand firm in your decisions because you know that they are aligned with your values and your vision for your life. The power of prioritization and purpose lies in the ability to live with intention. When you make conscious choices about how to spend your time, you take ownership of your life. You stop letting life passively happen to you, and instead you create a life that is reflective of who you are and what you value. Time is no longer something that slips away unnoticed. It becomes a tool you use to craft a life that is fulfilling, purposeful, and aligned with your deepest aspirations. The undeniable power of consistency is often the difference between fleeting success and long-lasting achievement. Consistency is what sustains progress over time, transforming small efforts into monumental results. In our world, we often seek quick fixes or instant gratification, but the truth is that lasting success comes from the steady, persistent actions we take over the long term. Consistency, more than talent or luck, is the true key to mastery and achievement. At its core, consistency is about showing up day after day, regardless of how you feel or the obstacles in your path. It's about developing the habit of taking action even when the results aren't immediately visible. Often the biggest hurdle in achieving success is the temptation to give up too soon. We tend to expect immediate results, but true growth takes time. It's easy to lose motivation when we don't see rapid progress, but this is where consistency plays its critical role. When you keep showing up, even when results are slow, you're building the foundation for the kind of success that isn't fleeting, but rather sustainable. Consider any successful individual, whether in business, sports, or the arts. Behind their success is an unwavering commitment to consistent effort. Success isn't born from isolated bursts of effort, but from the small, deliberate actions taken consistently over time. Take, for example, an athlete training for a marathon. It's not the one intense workout that makes them successful. It's the consistent training over weeks, months, or even years. Every run, every repetition, every moment of pushing through discomfort is a tiny brick in the larger structure of achievement. Without consistency, that athlete would never reach their potential. This principle applies across all areas of life. When you set out to learn a new skill or pursue a goal, it is easy to get disheartened if you don't see immediate results. But what you might not realize is that the process itself is the reward. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is a powerful force. As you continue to engage with the task, you begin to make incremental improvements, each of which builds upon the last. Over time, these small improvements compound, leading to significant progress that wouldn't have been possible without the consistency of daily or weekly effort. One of the challenges people face when pursuing a goal is the emotional fluctuations that come with it. Some days you feel motivated and energized, ready to tackle the world, and other days the energy is simply not there. However, consistency doesn't rely on motivation. It is about developing the discipline to act, even when the enthusiasm is absent. This is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. It's easy to be excited when things are going well, but true success is often a product of perseverance through the tough days when it would be easier to quit than to continue. The disciplined individual understands that action is more important than motivation, and they develop the habit of continuing their efforts regardless of their emotional state. Consistency also plays a crucial role in building self-confidence. Each time you follow through on your commitments and take consistent action toward your goals, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can rely on your own efforts. This trust in yourself is the bedrock upon which further success is built. Conversely, when you fail to follow through or abandon your commitments, your self-esteem takes a hit. The inconsistency of your actions creates doubt and uncertainty. Consistency allows you to master the skill of patience. In a world obsessed with instant results, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that mastery takes time. Whether it's perfecting a craft, building a business, or growing a relationship, the most important ingredient is time. Consistency allows you to embrace this process, understanding that there is no shortcut to success. It teaches you to be patient with yourself and with the journey. By consistently taking action, you learn to trust that your efforts will eventually pay off, even if the rewards are not immediately apparent.